SoFaygo tricked the TikTok algorithm to achieve 300 million streams for his song, Knock Knock. SoFaygo employed a number of brilliant strategies to guarantee that he would become a well-known musician, such as appearing on Jimmy Kimmel and utilizing Roblox to advertise his music. It will all be covered. This is the story of SoFaygo. Stay tuned right to the end to find out SoFaygo's biggest secret he didn't want his fans to know. SoFaygo had a Roblox addiction in middle school. He made his own server since he enjoyed it so much. It was called Trail House, and all you had to do was go around acting like a rapper. This server would begin to acquire some traction, but I don't think there was anything more to it. As the proprietor of a well-known server, SoFaygo would use his power and influence to market his music to the gamers on the server. He was starting to rap under the moniker Trillones and had a few tracks out. However, one would assume that this wouldn't succeed because who would leave Roblox to listen to another person's music? It doesn't really make sense, you know? In fact, it was a huge success. Many still remember SoFaygo from Roblox to this day. You have to realize that individuals become very engaged in Roblox. It becomes their entire existence. You will therefore pay attention when something is being shown to you by a powerful community person that you may look up to. Thus, in order to market their own music, up-and-coming artists should make use of communities and platforms where people have a lot invested. Thus, Faygo use of Roblox is the epitome of this. By using Roblox, Faygo was able to develop a core fan following, but that wasn't going to be sufficient. So Faygo needed to get better because his present music wasn't going to cut it if he wanted to see bigger and more organic success. How then did he act? Over the ensuing years, SoFaygo would dedicate himself to honing his skill. He would prioritize regularity and releasing as much music as he could. He was gradually gaining a following, so everything was going well for him. But there was going to be a shift. SoFaygo would team up with a producer who would increase his number of plays from thousands to hundreds of thousands. SoFaygo was fond of the producer Polak, whom he would come across on YouTube. After that, SoFaygo would get in touch and finally they would start working in 2019. They would collaborate on the song Titan, which was going to become very popular. SoFaygo's distinctive approach is presented over excellent production. By doing this, the song would be able to get 1 million plays on Spotify right now. Faygo would support this enormous smash with a few more tremendous singles, the most notable of which being Rat Runners, a gigantic hit, and Hits on Hits, which would go on to become one of SoFaygo's biggest songs. However, Yakimarui was going to be a different tune. We'll talk about that shortly, but this was going to be incredibly important later in his career. With SoFaygo, something wasn't quite right. SoFaygo didn't have a full-length record, but he was getting insanely popular off these tracks, and practically had blown up on SoundCloud. Why is this significant, though? Full-length albums are essential, since they provide fans with an extensive body of work to comprehend an artist's true nature and help them develop into a devoted following. It's rare for fans to stick with just one track. SoFaygo's career would therefore greatly benefit from what he did. 2019 saw SoFaygo release his mixtape Wall in June. It took the sound he'd been honing for the last few years, ever since his days on Roblox, and turned it into an 8-song project, the most polished version of itself. Clutch was the song that performed the best. This was going to be a huge moment in his career. It would open doors for him to meet a major underground person who would hear his music and start a crucial friendship. Pasto Flaco and SoFaygo started working together and became friends as a result. I feel compelled to say this since, in 2019, the underground scene was rather small and had been declining from 2016 to 2018. They so viewed one another as a means of expanding the area. They would work together on a ton of tracks, including Pop Out, Energy, Double R, and Can't Relate. In 2019, they performed admirably. Pasto Flaco was genuinely talented. His sound was like a cool Lil Tecca offset, perfectly harmonizing with SoFaygo's high-pitched tune. However, SoFaygo's life was about to alter when he met a well-known mainstream artist as a result of this friendship. In 2019, Pasto Flaco and Lil Tecca were close friends who collaborated on tracks, with Tecca producing a lot of Flaco-related content. I believe that was largely due to the fact that they were both New York natives. But Tekka would start to hear SoFaygo's songs because Flacco and SoFaygo were working together all the time. He would become enamored with it, so much so that he would initiate contact with SoFaygo. You don't realize how significant this was. Tekka had the game in it, coming immediately after Ransom, and right around We Love You, Tekka. At the time, he was undeniably one of the top hip-hop musicians. Therefore, what they were going to undertake would change lives. Because Lil Tekka is really passionate about producing music, he realized that SoFaygo was becoming well-known in the underground and viewed this as a fantastic chance to further his production career. Lil Tekka would therefore make this really catchy piano loop in August 2019 and place it over some kicks before giving it to SoFaygo. This time, though, SoFaygo would sing in a new way. Rather than concentrating as much on singing in a high pitch as we were accustomed to, he would sound more natural and sing a hook that was as catchy as possible. This song would become Knock Knock since it is so catchy throughout. Although there would be some talk about this song on SoundCloud, nothing revolutionary would happen just yet. The tune would linger for a while, so we'll return to it shortly. With the help of the app TikTok, SoFaygo would then start to execute a plan that would increase the number of views on his songs from hundreds of thousands to millions. Hip-hop musicians started using the TikTok app in late 2019, but TikTok's entire potential wasn't fully realized at the time. However, all of that was about to alter. Since SoFaygo was used to using other platforms, such as Roblox, to market his music, he was naturally interested in joining the TikTok community when he noticed that users could just post their own song and receive millions of views from random users. As a result of Faygo's followers uploading a ton of his songs to TikTok, he noticed something. Songs with greater catchiness, such as Hayaki Maru, Gear 2, Guard Up, and The World Is Yours, would perform incredibly well. Thousands of videos would be posted with each of these tracks. Individuals would perform skits, or just say idiotic things, and these films would, for some reason, receive hundreds of thousands of views. These songs would now have received millions of views on TikTok together. This gave Faygo's momentum even more boost. Use TikTok if you're a musician and you have a catchy song. The same rule still holds true. The catchier the song, the better it usually does. Of course, the game is much more crowded now, so you have to play much more strategically. Faygo's career was booming. He was receiving attention from TikTok, and Knock Knock was beginning to receive a lot of genuine plays on SoundCloud. He would later release an EP with the incredible performance of Masquerade, another song created by Tekka. Currently, it has 1 million plays on Spotify. The problem is that they weren't finished. Faygo and Tekka would profit from all of the excitement surrounding Faygo. What was going to happen was that SoFaygo was going to be removed from SoundCloud. Tekka would create the full Angelic 7 project for SoFaygo in January 2020. This album was excellent beyond excellent. Faygo's work on it was his best to date. Pretty Girls Do Perks is, in my opinion, the best song on it. The world of slays disappears. Faygo would see some absurd numbers for the project. For the first time, SoundCloud's numbers began to rise, with each song hovering around the 4 million mark on Spotify. However, Faygo was not content. People continued to underappreciate him, writing him off as a gritty, untalented SoundCloud rapper. He would co-sign a management deal and use the publicity from Angelic 7 to refine and polish his sound over the course of the following year. It worked. Oh my goodness. In December 2020, Faygo would release After Me. For Faygo, this initiative represented a major step up. To put it accurately, I would say that it was the realization that Faygo might truly be a popular artist, rather than just an extremely excellent rapper on SoundCloud, that made the leap. The album maintained all the qualities that first won over his admirers, despite being incredibly well-produced and diverse. With songs averaging over 10 million plays, this was Faygo's first taste of mainstream success overall. But this was going to be different. 2 of the songs that Faygo had released in the previous 2 projects were on the verge of going viral on TikTok, propelling him to prominence in the hip-hop industry and ultimately drawing Travis Scott's attention. Knock Knock became a major hit on SoundCloud early in 2021. It began to snowball as it gathered more and more numbers each week. However, one tactic would improve everything. Knock Knock would start to appear on TikTok, but not in the same way as SoFaygo's previous tracks. Before, Got Up songs on TikTok were all about individuals performing impromptu skits or crazy stuff, and they were from people who knew a little bit about SoFaygo from Knock Knock. Knock Knock was such a popular song that folks who didn't know who SoFaygo was would actually dance to it. Subsequently, more people started dancing to it. Before long, a number of the most well-known users on TikTok, boasting millions of followers, were moving to the tune Knock Knock. Before long, the video had amassed hundreds of millions of views on the platform. As a result, the song gradually gained millions of streams and caught the attention of a powerful figure who had the potential to take it to new heights. Cole Bennett saw SoFaygo's growth on TikTok and evidently wanted to help him further his career. As we all know, he lights up careers like Juice WRLD and Lil Tecca. Cole Bennett would therefore observe that Knock Knock was his most popular song at the moment, dancing around the 100 million stream mark. They would then leave for work. In May 2021, 2 years after the song's release, they produced a music video. The video went absolutely viral. This gave the song even more momentum, and it currently has 200 million streams on Spotify, making it SoFaygo's all-time greatest hit. He continued to use TikTok. Another song from After Me, Every Day, would start to get some popularity this time. This has a really evocative and catchy tune. On TikTok, this song would go popular and receive hundreds of millions of views. Though not as large as Knock Knock, it was nonetheless enormous. The song gained popularity as a result, receiving 30 million Spotify plays. It was done by that. Consequently, SoFaygo had successfully entered the mainstream of music. In the end, he signed a record deal with Cactus Jack Records with Travis Scott. Trip at Night, a song from Trippie Redd's Rage album, would also include him. However, something went wrong after that. It would take nearly 2 years for SoFaygo's next project, his first with Cactus Jack Records, to be released. This was problematic because SoFaygo's fanbase was developed through regular releases. Thus, it was clear that taking this long of a break was not good for him. Sadly, his CD couldn't live up to the caliber of his earlier work after that. It was lacking a lot of excitement, in my opinion, and instead focused more on a gloomy, ambient production that was more in line with Travis Scott's approach than SoFaygo's. It didn't bother me at all, really. I will say so. The songs Hell Yeah, Stay Awake, Marvelous Greed, and Out are all really good, but I can see why some fans weren't thrilled with them. Additionally, the album's promotion employed more conventional strategies, such as appearing on Jimmy Kimmel's late-night shows. Man, come on, that's not SoFaygo's style. SoFaygo had the impression that he was being forced to be someone he is not. This album would not be able to achieve the kind of success that SoFaygo used to have on TikTok. This was due to the fact that none of the hooks lived up to his typical caliber and were all somewhat drab. Overall, this resulted in his shocking decline. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked this video so far, then you'll probably like the video showing on your screen right now. Click now, and we'll see you in the next one.